And away from electoral matters, recent reports of flooding in Nigeria continue to hold far more devastating effects for the affected persons in Kogi, Delta, Anambra and Niger states. So far, no less than 100 people have lost their lives due to the seasonal rains in the country. This has caused the Niger and Benue rivers to burst their banks, inundating communities, farms and trapping tens of thousands of people in their homes. For the other 8 states declared as watch lists by the National Emergency Management Agency, it's a steadfast watch to ensure more proactive measures are taken to address the impacts of the floods. And joining us now live on our studio here in Lagos is Desmond Majekodunmi. He's the founder of Lafasi Nature Park and an environmentalist to look at the recent reports of flooding in Nigeria and the way forward. It's a pleasure to have you, sir.
Thank you.
Now, the National Emergency Management Agency has declared Kogi, Niger, Anambra and Delta states as natural disaster zones. What's your reaction to this statement, especially with the fact that we've had floodings happen year on year, and this is expected?
Yeah, just the word disaster alone, it, shakes my heart. It trembles me. Disaster is a terrible thing. It means that people have died, and we know that just in the last couple of months we've lost, almost 200 citizens. It means thousands of homes have been destroyed. It is a terrible, terrible thing, but it is not too unexpected. These sort of disasters are happening right now in different parts of the world, particularly the ones relating to floods. Floods are increasing in their veracity, increasing in their destructive potential.
And this is unrelated to climate change?
It is partly related to climate change. You'll always have floods, you'll always have heavy rains, but climate change is strengthening the amount of rains. It's increasing the amount of rains. It's like you can get like 2 or 3 weeks rain falling in just a few hours, and this will overwhelm any system. So it is definitely attributable to climate change in its strength and its destructive capability.
And what are we supposed to be doing as a nation, as a people? Yes, the federal government has directed all government agencies to present as much as possible resources and assistance to those who have been displaced as a result of this natural disaster. But is that enough?
It's good. It's active, and we're very, very happy to see that. It's far more proactive. We had terrible floods similar to what's happening now in 2012, and that was more disastrous because government was not prepared. Now government is prepared a little bit more. The meteorological organization was able to give us ample warnings. We give them full kudos for that. The protection agencies now are doing their best, but it's not nearly enough. Simply because the reality is that these sort of floods are going to come far more. And the other reality is that we human beings, we people, we Nigerians and also humans globally have been causing far too much damage against nature's systems. What sort of damage? Overheating the atmosphere by carbonizing it, pouring carbon pollution into the atmosphere. That's what's going to cause heavier rains. Another damage, tearing down our forests, massive tearing down of the forest. Do you know that the trees are what protects the riverbanks? And the riverbanks are no longer protected, so you have massive amounts of silt coming into the rivers. The rivers are receiving more water, their banks are higher, their beds are higher, so they're not capable of even discharging as much water as they should.
What should we be doing as a people and as a country as a whole?
Excellent question. As a people, what we need to do is to hear this alarm bell. It is ringing very, very loud, and the current Secretary General of the United Nations, Guterres himself, said, how many times does the alarm have to ring before we take the necessary action? What we have to do is to realize our constituted position on Earth. We, as the so-called primary species of the animals and the whole kingdom on Earth, as the so-called primary species, we're supposed to be the carers of the Earth. We're supposed to care for creation. And we have to understand that we cannot pretend to be apart from creation. We are a part of creation, and our constituted duty is to look after it, not to destroy it. You can't continue to perpetrate acts of terrorism against nature. She'll hit back. God will forgive all the time. Human beings will forgive some of the time. Mother Nature, she doesn't forgive. You slap your mother, she's going to slap you right back, and that's exactly what's happening. Nature is reacting. So we need to be far more benevolent, far kinder, far more caring towards nature.
Do you think we need policies to drive this discourse as well to ensure that we have all of the necessary protections and the ability to reduce the amount of impact such natural occurrences would have in the country?
Very good question. Absolutely, we need policies. Look, different wise men of the world are telling us that the biggest problem facing humanity now is the environmental issues of climate change, of biodiversity breakdown, of massive pollution of the oceans. We need to put it on the front burner, and we need to have those policies. But in order to ensure that those policies come, it is up to us. We have the power, and I have the weapon of warfare right here in my pocket. Oh yes, this is the weapon of warfare. It is what? A PVC. Yes, yes. Use your PVC. Get the right people in power to represent our interests and ensure that they care for our creation. Because guess what? The creation is our life support system.
And it's been a pleasure to have you speak with us, especially throwing more light on flooding and then the impact that it has on the people of Nigeria. We've been speaking with Desmond Majikodomi, he's an environmentalist and the founder of Lufasi Nature Park here in Lekki, Lagos. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.